everyone, this is Elisa from Anaya's Toy Box Crochet, and I'm here to tell you what I've been up to. But first, welcome to Spirit Week. It is favorite color day, so I am dressed in red. I wanted to wear something purple too because I have two favorite colors. I have a reel about my favorite colors. I'm going to link it down below if you want to see it. It's called a reel on Instagram. It's called short. Sorry, it's a short here on YouTube. Anyways, I have about my favorite color, which I will link down below if you want to check it out. But purple has been my favorite color changes, like a lot. At one point in my years of living, every color of the rainbow has been my favorite color. Even the ones that are not in the rainbow, like black and white. But purple has been my favorite color for a while, and now I'm starting to like red too a lot more. I can't tell you which one is my favorite color, one over the other. So because purple has been my favorite color for a while, I noticed that all my clothes were purple. So I consciously stopped buying purple clothes, and now that those are worn out, I don't have any purple clothes. So I couldn't wear purple, so I'm wearing red. This yarn I have over here for favorite color day because they're red and purple. I know this looks pink on the camera. I don't know why it looks pink, and I don't know how to change it, but it is red. Anyways, this is yarn from Crochet in Agreement, and it is, hi, I'm Karen, and I'm a yarn addict colorway. Anyways, favorite colors. Okay, so what have I been up to? Oh, thank you all for coming. I forgot to say that. Thank you all for coming. I love showing off my makes, and I love that you come and watch it, and I hope you enjoy it. You can find me on social media as Anaya's Toy Box on Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, and Ravelry. All the links are down below. I'm also going to link down my short. It would have been perfect if it came out now, but whatever. I can't. I'm not going to redo it because it's already there. So I'll link it down below. Yeah, so all my links are down below if you want to email me. My email is there too. All right, so what have I been up to? You know, before when I was working on other projects, I'd have the dolls that I have on sale on Etsy, like the physical dolls that I have on sale on Etsy here, but I don't have space for them anymore. Oh well. But the first one I want to show you is this one. This is Anna, the Day of the Dead doll, and whoops, she's a bit ragdolly, and I have finally finished filming the tutorial. Filming, not editing. That took a while and it was different. But I finished filming the tutorial, and I'm happy to say that I did stay on camera most of the time. I actually looked through the camera while I was crocheting, as opposed to last tutorial, which you guys never saw because I was always off camera. But anyways, the tutorial is done filming, not editing, and I'm having the pattern being tested right now. Thank you to my testers. Yeah, so she's done. I can't wait. Although I can do without all the filming. So I also finished this sugar skull. This was a pattern that was gifted to me by Zelda and RJ3, and I'll link her down below. I finished it. This is the second one I did. This is the one I did with the yarn according to pattern, which makes it smaller. I don't have the other one anymore to show you, but it makes it, the other one was probably like this much taller. This is with DK yarn, and I think if I make it again, I will make it with worsted weight just so to get the bigger doll. Anyways, I love it. But can you believe this yarn right here and this yarn right here is the same? You use so little you don't see the color changes, even though it's very, very frequent color changes. But anyways, I finished this. I don't recall who. Well, you know what? That's why I have my iPad open to my Ravelry page, so I could tell you who designed it. This is a pattern called Sugar Skull Soiree, and it's by Markin of the Hat and Eye. That's the name of the pattern. It will be linked down below. I used DK yarn, working yarn. Most of it is paint box because I buy a lot of paint box. All right, simply DK. All right, so then I also finished the monster. I told you this one has no pattern. I ended up freehanding it because I didn't have enough yarn to make. I started off making a smaller version of the monster I have on my Ravelry stores, the pattern. But I didn't have enough yarn, so I had to change it. So I changed it. The eye is still the same pattern, and the arm is similar, bit smaller. So I decided to put a little top hat. Sorry for the outside noise. I do live in a city. Yeah, so this is done with Picasso yarn. I love it. I finished it. There is no more Picasso yarn in my collection, and maybe one day I'll get some more because I did like working with it. And it frogged awful. Yeah, it frogged awful. I think I was gonna frog it down lower, but I didn't. I didn't do it. So after I finished those were my whips that I showed you in my last video. I decided, all right, it's time to concentrate on loveys. So I made this one. These are all Frankenstein. I showed you one I already made. These are all Frankenstein, meaning I used the head of my patterns and the blankets of different places. So this one is my Kittycorn pattern, which will be linked down below. I did the head, and then on round 36, I worked on the back loops. Not round 36. On the round where okay. So I worked up to when there's 36 stitches in the pattern, and then I worked in the back loops and closed it off. So I went beyond, like I just kept on going, and then on the front loops, I attached the yarn and I worked up the pattern. So this pattern is those hexes. So I decided to do those. That's what I mean by Frankensteining it. I just took two patterns and put them together. I used Lion Brand's, what's it called again? It's the one with the sunset nights. No, not sunset nights. I forget the name of it, and I don't have it. Yes, I do. Don't I have it on my Ravelry? Let me see. Kittycorn Lovey. Oh, it is Sunset Nights. I was right. I used Sunset Nights, and I really, really wanted to use this because I wanted to see how the colors worked up, and I never used it before. I have 2 more skeins. But I love this. I love how it turned out. I don't like the head and the arms too much because even though it says it's a 4-weight, it kind of worked like a 3-weight. It felt more like a 3-weight to me. And I was using too big a hook. If you look, the holes are very, very big. Oh, why aren't you go there? Now are you? Okay. The holes are very big in this. And I did struggle whether I should frog it and use a smaller hook. But at the end, I decided I wanted the head to be big. So I just kept on going. It is what it is. But this is going to be going to Rose from Rose Likes Crochet for wings. I hope somebody likes it enough to take it. And so then in the same manner, I decided, okay, I'm going to use my Rusty the Fox pattern. And so I used my Rusty the Fox pattern to make the head. And then I was like, what should I do for the blanket? So the head and the arms are Rusty the Fox, which I will link down below. And the blanket is a fiber spider pattern. This one's blanket is bigger than all the rest, and that's because of the lacy stitch. I wanted to use up this. I used working yarn. Working yarn, by the way, is yarn that I have previously used, but I have enough for to start another amigurumi project. I used working yarn for this, and I really wanted to. I wasn't sure I had enough, and maybe if I had made this blanket, or even, why can't I get it there? This blanket, I wouldn't have had enough. But because I use such a lacy blanket, I forget what it's called, but it's going to be linked down below. This is a pattern from Fiber Spider. I had the latte cake ready to add to it, and when it finished, I was like, I still want to put the latte cake. So I put my latte cake in here. This is Earl Grey. And I had to do a lot of fudging around here because I couldn't get it quite right. I did not make the whole blanket. As you can see, I worked again in the back loops when I was making the head, and then worked the front loops to make the blanket. So the blanket is attached, not sewed on, attached to the head. So yeah, I did that. I loved the fiber spider pattern. I think I might want to make a shawl out of this. For blankets, I don't like so many holes because I feel like things are going to get stuck there, especially if it's a baby. I have a 7-year-old who loves to cuddle up, and I could see his toes getting stuck in there. You know, it is quite a big hole. So I wouldn't make a blanket out of this pattern, although if you like to make a blanket, it would make a gorgeous, gorgeous blanket. But I might make a shawl out of it. Anyways, the last one here in my FOs that I am going to show you is this. This is Kittycorn again. Now, the story about Kittycorn is I love this cotton with a sparkle when I was designing it. Now, Kittycorn is one of my earlier patterns. And I had a very, very, I knew what I wanted. I had an image in my head and I wanted it to look like that. And so I started making Kittycorn, and it was so incredibly hard. Like, Kittycorn is not a hard pattern, but it is probably the hardest pattern, one of the hardest patterns I've designed. I frogged so much that I love this cotton, the stellina on it was starting to fall off. And I was like, ooh, I'm ruining this yarn. So I picked up some Caron Simply Soft and I worked it up. And I frogged. And then I worked it up again. I must have frogged this head like 9 times. Anyways, finally I got it right. I wrote it down. This was the head that I was working on. And then I made it in I love this cotton with stellina, and I finished up the pattern. But I had this random head lying around, and I thought I'll do something with it one day. And I forgot about it. And yesterday I was cleaning, the other day I was cleaning out, I have a bin here, and I was cleaning out the bin that's supposed to only have like crochet accessory, like my plastic canvas, my bags, my bags, things like that, you know, some stuff that I would use as an accessory, not yarn, but it was full of yarn and it was overflowing. So I was cleaning it out, and on the bottom I found this head, and I'm like, oh, I remember this head. What should I do with it? And then I decided, you know what? I'll just make a lovey out of it, so I don't have to ever make the body again. I don't even have, I mean, I could buy this yarn. It's Caron Simply Soft. It's available. Caron Simply Soft, if you want to order it though, is you have to buy 3 skeins of it. And the reason I'm not using Caron Simply Soft is because I was finding it hard to find the colors I usually use in Michaels for it. So I don't even know if in this new Michaels they will have it, but in my Michaels they were starting to phase out Caron Simply Soft and put more of an emphasis on the loops and threads, soft and sleek. And so that is probably the main reason why I stopped buying Caron Simply Soft. So I don't have this cream yarn anymore. I have other cream yarns. I don't especially need to buy a cream yarn of Caron Simply Soft. So I figured I'm just going to use something I have and make it into a lovey. So I picked up Red Heart Super Saver stripes in neon stripes, and I used up the entire skein to make this lovey. I used Zelda NRJ3's pattern. I did have to fudge it because I didn't work on the back loops here. I worked it all the way through, right? And so I had to surface crochet on the head, and I got 34 stitches instead of 36 stitches, and leave such big holes. I didn't want to frog it and figure out how to make it to 36 stitches. So I just had to, you know, fudge it. So I fudged it, and this is what I have. I don't have this one doesn't have arms because I don't have the yarn anymore. Anyways, those are my FOs. Then I told myself, Alisa, you need to concentrate on your big projects. So I worked on my big projects. First of all, my sweater. I'm so happy because, oh, my cardigan, I guess. I'm so happy I got a lot done. See that? I am about 11 or 12 rounds away from finishing the length of it. This is where I was the last time I showed it to you. So I worked a lot. I have finished 2 skeins of the yarn, and I am working on with my 3rd skein right now. This is not where the 3rd skein started. This, oh, is it? Sorry about that. I had to make some room on my phone. I still have the tutorial for this in there, and that's taking up a lot of space. Okay, so back to my cardigan. I worked up this much. I am on my 3rd skein. I am not enjoying the herringbone stitch any more than I was before, but I am loving to see the sweater grow. And it feels so good when I try it on. I like working the raglan style because you could try it on as you go. Compared to the other sweater I made with panels, you couldn't try it on until you wore it. And seriously, it's stretched out so much. It's huge on me now. I'm still wearing it because I made it, but it's huge. This one hopefully will not be huge. This is where I was when I left off, so I have worked up this much. This stitch marker, which is gorgeous, it's by Rose Likes Crochet. You should check out her stitch markers. I'll link her down below. And I got it from Jax because I won a prize from her and she gave it to me. So this is from Creations by Jax, and it's a stitch marker by Rose. Now I don't usually show off my stitch markers too much because I make most of my stitch markers. That one's one I made. So anyways, I like it. I like wearing it. I don't like working on it, but I've gotten a lot done. All right, so that was big project number 1. Remember, I have finished all these amigurumis, and I told myself no more until you finish at least one. I was thinking that one of your big projects. So I did pick up my knitting. I didn't do too much, but I will show you what I did, which just really quickly because it doesn't look any different. I love that I'm on the darker colors now. I have worked up this much, so this is where I was last time I saw it. I showed it to you, and look at the colors. I love the ombre in this yarn. It is gorgeous. I am using Elise Diva Ombre Batik right here. I love this yarn. I am wishing that I crocheted it because seriously, I am still a beginner knitter. And as much as I love fingering weight, it takes forever to get done. And I feel like if I had used that yarn to crochet something, it would have been done already. I don't need to say I feel like. It would have been done already. Since I have started this project, I have finished 2 fingering weight shawls in crochet. And I am still like at the beginning of this one. So yes, I would have been finished if I started with crochet. So that's my other big project, which I knew I wouldn't finish anytime soon, but I still wanted to work on it. My next big project is, of course, the blanket for my daughter. It is here. Let me find the stitch marker. Okay, here it is. Here is the stitch marker to show you how much I've done. It is really, this is a C2C moss stitch blanket, and it starts here and ends here. This is, of course, the diagonal part of it. Let's see if I could fit the whole blanket. This is going to be the width. I could kind of fit the whole blanket in width-wise. So the diagonal is really, really long. And I have worked up quite a bit of it. I know it doesn't look that dramatic this much, but it is. It is dramatic because it's long rounds, or rows. It's long rows. I'm liking it. I have decided that my plan was I use this gray skein here. Then I have 2, the gray cake here. I have 2 of this color. So I was going to use up both of these cloud cakes and then finish with my other gray skein so that it was symmetrical. So I would work up, I have this much rows in the decreasing, so I would work up this amount of rows in the decreasing with the gray. But I think I have enough. I don't need to touch the second red skein, red cake of the cloud cake. I think 1 cake of the red will be enough. So I'll work up until this red finishes, which is, it's a while to go. There's these yarns, they have a lot of yarn in it. Like, I know it's falling apart. It's collapsed in itself. That's the problem with big skeins. They're great to get because you don't have to sew in them with too many ends, but they collapse. But anyways, this is how much I worked up. I am almost sure I might take a little bit of my second one and put it in here, but I'm pretty sure this is going to make it long enough because I'm not going for an especially long or big blanket. It's going to be an Afghan for my daughter, and hopefully this will be enough. If it isn't, I do have another one, and I'm thinking I will do the border with the red because I have another whole cake of it. I had been planning, I had a variegated gray one, and I thought I'd make the border with that, but I think I can make the border with the red. So I worked quite a bit on that. I was a good girl for a little bit. I worked on my big project, and then I was like, no, I'm bored. I want to work on amigurumi. I think the reason why I want to work on amigurumi so much this time of year is because I used to do why can't I remember the word? But you know, I used to sell my amigurumi at a brick and mortar store. It was a consignment. It was a consignment. So I used to do a consignment where I would send her my amigurumi and she would sell it at the store and I'd get money once it's sold. So for years I was doing that. And then last year was the last year I did it because she closed the store because she wasn't making enough money because of COVID. And so I haven't made for that store for a while. But I am used to, like for years and years, this was crunch time, getting stuff ready to send out for Christmas. And so I would be making amigurumi. Sorry, that's the sound of the subway going by under us. I know, it's loud in the city. For a long time, September, October was crunch time for me to get stuff ready for Christmas. And I was always making amigurumi then. And I think that part of me is like, I should be making amigurumi now. And so I picked up a new project. I started it last night. This is how much I got done. It's a quick project. This is my pattern. It's the baby beach doll. Yeah, I'm working on worsted weight yarn, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know why I decided. I do know why, because I want to give this as a gift to somebody and who's a baby, and I thought a cuddle size would be nice. I won't be too cuddly because it's not too tall. I'm almost finished the body. But I really prefer my amigurumis to be worked in 3-weight yarn. I find the stitches look better. This is how the stitches look in this. It doesn't look bad. I just like it better when it looks like this, the smaller stitches. You know, at one point, oh, am I making this video too long? At one point, I had decided I am never going to work with 4-weight yarn again for amigurumi. And I gave away all my 4-weight yarns, like everything that I had, I gave it away. And I kept my 3-weight, my 2-weight, my fingering weight, and my crochet thread for amigurumi. And I was making for a while with those weights. I would be making fingering weight dolls. I loved the fingering weight dolls. I'd making with DK. I'd be making, another train just went by. When I say train, it's the subway. But this thing always shakes whenever the subway goes by. You don't notice it too much, except for the shaking of that thing. Anyways, what was I saying? I would make the dolls with my, cotton thread, all of that sort of stuff. And then I was approached by this lady saying, hey, do you want to sell some stuff in my store? And I said, yes. And I realized, as much as I like smaller dolls and smaller stitches, people like bigger dolls. And so I had to restock all my 4-weight yarn. And I was very, I really don't like this, so I am going to not make dolls with 4-weight yarn. I'm going to stick to 3. And I made a bunch of animals with a 4-weight yarn. Now, I understand people like bigger stitches, people want bigger things. I will still make my dolls with 3-weight yarn. It's just that one. That one's an anomaly because I am planning to give it to a child, and I thought they might like it a little bigger. Because the original one that I made, I made out of 2-weight yarn, and it's like this big. Anyways, that's what I have been up to. I hope, and I've been saying this every week, I hope I finish the cardigan for next week. I am not promising anything, but I hope I do. Okay, I am like looking around for my clicker. I put it down after I turned it on, and I have no idea where I put it to. Anyways, I hope this video isn't too long because it's cut up, I can't see. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe. Bye.